What is going on, FA Nation? Jonathan here with James Grande. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm MLB DFS Playbook live show. We are looking at the Wednesday evening slate here. 9 games over on the DraftKings. We had a nice little 4-game early slate going on. If you rock the Dodgers like our guy Grande right here, you're having yourself a good old time. Nice strong inning to the top of the Dodgers lineup here today. But 9 games to focus on here for the evening slate starting at 6:35 p.m. Eastern time. We don't have to worry about course. They were on the early slate, so nothing to do there. We do have Cincinnati and St. Louis playing. We have New York versus Baltimore. Will New York homer for the first 5 batters like they did yesterday of Kyle Gibson? That will remain to be seen. It is a travel day. We do have some kind of interesting lineups and guys that are out of the lineups that maybe we're hopeful to play today. So we'll break it all down. We'll go position by position, and we'll build a lineup at the end of the show. Grande, how are we doing, man?
Happy Wednesday. That feels like Friday.
Feels like Friday for you?
I just woke up thinking it was Friday, and I just haven't, not that matters in the sports world, like it doesn't. Sure. We write Playbook Saturday. We write Playbook Sunday. We do all the stuff. I just didn't know what day it was, and I felt like it was Friday. So when you wake up thinking it's Friday and it's not Friday, you can't, you don't just shake that it's not Friday, you just...
Yeah, but, I would almost feel disappointed waking up thinking it's Friday, knowing that I have, that's not Friday.
I'm obviously disappointed. I'm very disappointed, but, well, I can't do anything about it not being Friday. I can't, no, I don't have, was it Click that Adam Sandler had the remote? Is that what it was?
Yeah, that would make sense, right?
I don't have that, John. So yeah. I personally can't do anything about it not being Friday. I'm just telling you that when I woke up today, I felt like it was Friday, and that hasn't really changed. So happy not Friday to you.
All right. Well, we'll take that for what it is. Appreciate you guys tuning into the chat and the show for us here today. We'll go. Let's just get into it. Nathan Eovaldi's your top guy today. $9,200. Corbin Burns is $9K. Rasmussen, Boyd, Sanchez, and Severino round out the $8K tier. When we did the preview show, we thought that price tag on Christopher Sanchez doesn't seem to make sense. And the field agrees. He's 40% rostered here in a 9-game slate.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good play. He is a good pitcher. Obviously, the lone, I don't know if the lone concern is the forearm. No, I mean that's the concern here. That's your only hesitation with Christopher Sanchez. They say he's fine. He says he's fine. He threw, obviously not the extent of a full game. Yeah. Didn't even miss a start, but his session in between obviously was a limited session because that's how it works. You don't go out, throw 90 pitches in your midweek work and then hey, good to go. Mm-hmm. But whatever amount of pitches he threw and work he did, they felt good enough for him to pitch. And that is where the whole field's going. And I get it. He is $1,000 too cheap for the pitcher that he's been this year. And the only reason he is this cheap is because the algorithm saw 2 innings, 0.9 fantasy points, and weighed it down, right? And that's not how that should work, but it did because that's technically what happened. He left the game after 2 innings and less than a fantasy point. So I'm with the field. But obviously, back in my mind, little James saying it's not Friday is also saying there's a forearm for a guy that throws 99 miles an hour. That's never fun.
227 batting average, 108 ISO, 273 weighted on base. Washington versus lefties this season. So has the matchup certainly to his advantage. I pointed out, if you wanted to just pivot, Matthew Boyd is $200 more expensive than he is. Going up against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh equally as bad, if not worse, actually, in most categories than the Washington Nationals this year against lefties. 9th highest strikeout rate, 25%, 220 batting average, 104 ISO, 271 WOBA against lefties. Cubs, huge favorites today. Cade Mulaski on the other side of that matchup. Or is it Cade? Cade, did I make that up? It's not Cade, right?
No,
Cade
you made it completely up. Yes.
made it completely up. Cade Povich,
Carmen San
Carmen,
Diego Podolsky.
Ladons, right. There you go. It's Carmen, Cade, same C word. He's going to get rocked today, most likely. Matthew Boyd, a big favorite. You feel better about pitching him instead of Sanchez? You could, or just pitch them both and get your two SPs right there.
Yeah, I mean, I like this range. Surprise, surprise, John, or not surprised, because we're not surprised. They are two of the three highest rostered pitchers of the day, and the other one is Nathan Eovaldi, who's also a great pitcher. So, like, yeah, I think if you live in that range, there's ways to differentiate the bats, because that's always like, if you're going to be chalky at pitcher, I would like to have some differentiation with my bats, right? Like that's just kind of, so it's definitely fine to be chalky. I think that is a nice range to live in, the Sanchez Boyd range.
Well, Sanchez being, I mean, we say like Boyd's the third highest starting pitcher, but he's 50% the ownership that
he's
Sanchez.
50%. Yeah, right? Yeah, sure.
So you play Eovaldi, Boyd. Both of those guys are 25 and 23%. And you just fade the 40% Sanchez, and there's your leverage, right? Because most people are seemingly going Sanchez and Eovaldi, Sanchez and Boyd. You can just fade that whole group all together if you wanted to, or go down to Drew Rasmussen at $8,800. When I say go down in ownership, go up in expense here. Biggest problem for us with him is just the pitch count. He's been excellent. We're begging for him to see the sixth inning, 6 full innings here. 5 2/3 against the Yankees was his highest. He gave you 21 fantasy points in a loss. He got 22 fantasy points in a win here when he threw 70 pitches against Pittsburgh. The moment this dude is allowed to throw 90 pitches, you might get 7 innings out of him, right? So, like, $8,800 Drew Rasmussen, 20% owned today against that Kansas City offense.
I watched Howard Bradley throw 100 pitches yesterday, John. So I guess anything's possible, right?
Not with him, though, right?
Not with him.
He's
And
probably the only guy that's actually limited in pitches right now.
Shout out to Shane Baugh's second start of the, or was it first start of the year?
First start, 96.
First start, 96 pitches.
But Rasmussen did miss almost all of last year with the elbow injury. I think he had Tommy John, right? And then he came back and he only pitched in the bullpen. So they are slow ramping him a bit.
Yeah, I wonder if that, like, I don't wonder. I wonder, I guess, will it come second half of the year, right? Is it not even soon? Is it like post All-Star break, if you get through that, then we start ramping, or like... Right.
Had he pitched better against Arizona, would we have seen him go 90 pitches after going 84 to the start before? Like, who knows?
Well, look how good he was in the start prior against the Yankees, 5 2/3. They didn't even let him finish the inning.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Like, without deep diving into the game logs, it was a 1-0 game they lost. Maybe 2 of those walks came in that inning, and they pulled them, right? Like, it's without kind of going in there. But I'm just wondering if he had pitched better against Arizona, a little bit of a progression in pitch count, maybe he would have worked his way up there. But $8,800 for him, a guy that's not going more than 5, is obviously a little scary, but he is getting a little love as well.
Yeah, I love the matchup. Obviously, Kansas City's been awful, although a little better lately. Salvi's turned it around. Drew Waters is the best player on the team, and then there's that Bobby guy who's also good. So between those 3 players that the Royals have, they're figuring it out. I would still probably live in the Boyd Sanchez range before going to Rasmussen, or get up to Nathan Eovaldi. Or I would probably just dip my toes into like the Tobias Myers waters, because, I think it's a really good sign when your pitcher makes his debut and he throws 82 pitches like that right then and there. Like, he's
already Rasmussen.
He's already Drew Rasmussen. Like, this is Drew Rasmussen. Drew Rasmussen's made 5 starts more than him. I mean, it's like great matchup. And he was a really good pitcher last year. So $7,200 doesn't exactly, like, he's not an elite strikeout arm. That's probably the one thing that holds him back here. But the matchup, the win equity, and just there is obvious opportunity for strikeouts when Luis Robert is in the opposing team's lineup.
Yep. We lost one of our 4K starters. He's not going to be the long reliever. But Noah Cameron is remaining and starting here in this matchup against Tampa Bay at $4,000. We often talk. It's very difficult not to play a $4,000 pitcher just because there's so little they need to do to hit value. Matchup against Tampa Bay, we know Tampa Bay against lefties. We've talked about it. Jonathan Ronda not in their lineup today. Like they take out their good hitters when lefties are on the mound. 8% of the field is playing Noah Cameron, so getting a less than 10% guy who is cheaper than the majority of the hitters on this slate. Are we plugging and playing here? What are we doing with Noah Cameron?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good spot. We've talked about this a lot with Tampa Bay and how heavy their lineup is when it comes to lefties. Their sample is getting bigger and their numbers are shrinking, John. It's like going out in the cold weather. Things shrink. But 598 OPS as a team against left-handed pitching, 107 ISO, 272 WOBA, 25% strikeout rate. If you're looking to get bats, which there are plenty on this slate, then yes, I do think Noah Cameron makes a lot of sense. I'm not like worried about Waddle not starting because Brazoban he's going to pitch one inning and then that's it. So I wouldn't necessarily be like completely off.
My concern about Waddle is just if he's not starting, what is his plan for innings?
So
right?
It's a good point.
Is he going to throw 2-3 innings and they go to the next bullpen guy? That's my concern.
I would expect. Yeah, I guess that's the one concern. He has been operating as a starter, so that's the only thing.
Which is why it's weird to me that they wouldn't start. Like, why use the opener then? Let's
give him because it's his first major league outing. Like, give him the.
Yeah, you want him coming in out of the bullpen? I mean, like, it just I get weird vibes.
Okay,
weird vibes.
I'm not saying you're wrong either. By the way, I think that's like a valid point. I'm just saying.
Don't want him facing Corbin Carroll the first time around,
yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, maybe like, hey, welcome to MLB. Corbin Carroll's your first matchup in your life. Like, that's not fun.
Well, they got Towel leading off today, so
that's the Towinators.
Towinators where they went today. Anthony's saying the Red Sox are the top stack. Toronto using the Eric Lauer, who I didn't know who was in baseball still. He wasn't actually until today. And they have Yariel Rodriguez as the long reliever here. So we saw
flipped.
They flipped.
Yariel is I think Yariel is the opener.
Okay.
Because they've been using
the long reliever.
Yeah, they've been using Yariel. They've been using Yariel strictly out of the bullpen this year.
Okay. Well, I mean, Andy's saying Red Sox are the top stack. I mean, yeah, I would have no problem playing Boston. I'm not touching obviously the Toronto situation. I'm not going to pitch Giolito. I don't really have any interest there. I guess the only other guy getting like some ownership looks is Severino. And you were all in on Texas last night, and that paid off big. So are you worried about Sevy here?
I mean, my Texas interest was more price related than it was Severino related. But I'm indifferent either way. Like, Sevy has been average this year. I mean, he has had 2 bad starts, but he does miss a lot of bats. I don't know have you seen the Texas lineup? Jake Berger hitting third today, John.
Yeah.
It's definitely a good lineup. It's just price related. I don't think I'd go to Severino. I'd probably be more inclined to play someone like Chase Petty making his debut, but I don't even think I'd go there.
Sure. Mike Trout leaving today's game feels like the inevitable, right?
That's sad.
A message that we've seen one too many times over the last couple of seasons here. All right. So, any other takes in pitching here?
No, nothing that I would entertain.
Catcher we go then. Can spend up at the top. Carson Kelly, whenever he's in the lineup, is basically Babe Ruth.
Yesterday,
$5,000 hitting 370 with 7 homers and a 1,400 OPS. A 1,400 OPS?
do you know who that's better than?
Everybody?
Everybody.
Everybody. Yeah, man, hitting 5th today. Yeah, I like the Cubs a lot. Not alone in that. But yeah, Adley's there against Carrasco in Baltimore. If you want to go there, you certainly can. And then the mid-range. But on this slate, if you're playing a $4,000 pitcher, you can pay for a $5,000 catcher if you wanted to.
Just 5 stack the Cubs with Carson Kelly.
Yeah, right. Kelly, Bush, Tucker, Seiya, Happ.
It's Aaron Judge, but catching.
Again, whenever he is in the lineup, he's doing real damage. So you tell me.
I'm not. I'm not going to tell you not to play a guy who looks like Aaron Judge.
The top 2 rostered catchers are the top 2 most expensive. Adley's got a slight edge over Kelly, but which it seems interesting to me that we're going all the way up the top. But
why Adley?
The matchups.
Why Adley?
Carrasco.
But is Carrasco worse or is Adley worse? And if you answer Carrasco, are you absolutely sure about that?
No, but you're betting against Carrasco and betting for the Adley. Adley should be better. Carrasco isn't. Yeah,
but cookies are good.
I mean, everybody's playing dude, Ramon Laureano is getting 14% ownership today. Now, again, he's $2,300 hitting 5th, but I mean, people aren't running from this O's lineup today.
Yeah, Ramon Laureano also, I was looking at some righty splits this year. Oh boy, when we get to outfield, we're going to be talking about some Ramon Laureano. I would lean Carson Kelly of that equation. I almost have zero interest in Rutschman. I get it though, because if you're stacking Orioles, you play the 3-hitter in that lineup. Sure, it makes sense, but he just kind of has stunk.
Sure.
He's stunk. He's just flat out, he's been bad offensively. And we know he's better from the other side of the plate. He's a better righty than he is a lefty. Yeah. That's been his historically better split regardless. So I'd go Kelly. Wells.
Did you go Wines against Matts here? 4,100.
Yeah, stacking in against Matts is not a bad approach. The Reds catchers are combination of Carson Kelly, I guess. Him and Trevino.
Obviously, again, we highlighted this 6 of 7. 2 of most of the big numbers came against infielders here, Gary Sanchez and Jorge Mateo. But then he followed it up with a 3 for 4 and a homer in the next time he played. So,
I would play him for the record. Sure. Anthony asked me about Real Muto because he roots for the Phillies. I mean, he's been awful. He's been stealing bases. That's about the only thing that has saved his fantasy season at all. If you're playing a Philly stack, sure. I'd rather play Austin Wells for power. And Povich has bad numbers against both splits, so I wouldn't mind the lefty. Kirk is cheap. Moreno is cheap. Higashioka not in the lineup. RIP.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Kirk and Moreno for value today make a lot of sense.
Yep.
First base. As I said, I obviously like Cubbies going. Michael Busch at $5,400. Expensive, but certainly worth it. Where else would you look to go at the top here?
I was curious at what the Yankees would do with their starting lineup. I think Harper, all that stuff. Harper looks great. Naylor, I'm not afraid of lefty. You could play Vladdy, obviously. Homered yesterday. Has homered a couple times recently, and we knew that would turn around. But I love
it gives up home runs.
I love the Rice, O'Hearn, Goldschmidt tier. I think picking between those guys, you don't have to because you can play O'Hearn in the outfield, but Goldschmidt leading off, just absolutely raking, just constantly, just hitting every day, average up to 360. The players hitting behind him obviously doesn't hurt. as well. Like he's going to continue to get good pitches to hit. So love Goldschmidt, love O'Hearn on a little bit of a power surge right now, and has just been good since arriving in Baltimore in general, Ryan O'Hearn. So
Yeah.
love O'Hearn 43. And then Ben Rice just hits against everybody. Like if you think that you can't play Ben Rice against a lefty, that's not correct. And again, Cade Povich expected ISO against lefties 229. That's a lot of power expected allowed. Ben Rice 250 ISO against lefties so far this year.
Yeah, strikeouts are starting to take up on him, which probably isn't too much of a surprise. But
no,
yesterday, part of the 3 straight homers to open that game. So, and to get him down hitting 4th now. So another run producing position for him. I like the O'Hearn and Goldschmidt calls, obviously. Spencer Steer's hitting 5th again. He's a better hitter than he was to open the season. We do know that. Good home ballpark. You just kind of hope that you can get something out of this kid hitting 5th, because, again, it feels like a good spot for him. Same thing with Casas, down to 7 now.
Yep.
Rodriguez at $3,400. A matchup I would expect him to take advantage of. I'm not really worried about Eric Lauer either. No. I don't know how long he'll even be in that game for. And then you have Berger. Burleson's hitting 5th, so spots you can go to.
Yeah, those would probably be the 2 guys for me. Yandy Diaz getting a lot of ownership, and I assume, 1, he's like their only righty, him and Caminero are serviceable righties, and 2, he gained third base eligibility. But Jake Berger hitting 3rd, playing pretty well as of recently, and we know he's a good bat at 27.
Another guy that wasn't as bad as he opened the season, right? So
yep.
If he gets up and hits 240 by the rest of the year, he's going to have to basically hit, 300 for a stretch, know? So ride that wave while you can at 27. Second base, you can play Bregman, obviously, with that dual eligibility. I didn't even realize that he was hitting 330. I knew he was playing well. I didn't realize just how well Alex Bregman is playing right now. So worth the cash if you can get there. Frustrates me to no end that Matt McClain is still hitting 2nd for this Reds team. He is horrific. He just continually gets out in front of Ellie. Stott versus Irvin. Donovan obviously looks pretty good. Christian Campbell's been a monster these last 2 games. So can get yourself a good tier of second baseman here.
Yeah, Alex Bregman, the second baseman, definitely looks great because he's played there all year.
Not once, not even every season.
Bryson Stott. Was there like a talk about that or something? Like, was there like ever this like?
Yes. When they signed Alex Bregman,
I was kidding.
The initial report was he's going to play second, and then he never once ever did.
So. Why is it? Was there something else? Do they have another third baseman possibly?
Yeah, Rafael Devers, the DH now.
DH, right? Yeah. Bryson Stott looks great as a leadoff hitter because he just runs now. He's just not now. He's been running, but like he's getting on base now, and they're just letting him run. We kind of talked about the Jake Urban stuff on the pre-show. It doesn't look real. Like whatever Jake Urban's doing, there's a lot of batted ball luck. And even with that batted ball luck, 212 ISO to lefties, 230 expected ISO to lefties. I don't know if you knew this, John. Philly has a lot of lefties at the top of the lineup. So,
hey, Anthony likes Real Muto because the over is going to hit tonight. You can like the over, but not care if Real Muto's involved. So
yeah, I think like if you're playing a full stack of Phillies, it is a reasonable approach to have JT Real Muto. But I don't think he makes the top 5 of my Philly stack.
So is it? There's a lot of other Phillies that play.
I'm just saying, like he's hitting 6th, so it's not like terribly like a terrible thought. We're also on the same wavelength. Like he's been bad.
There are 5 players ahead of him in the lineup that I'd play.
Yes. So I like Stott, a Philly that actually is hitting. Donovan hitting 3rd in a really good ballpark. Looks great. Christian Campbell is awesome.
He's
awesome.
3 straight 2-hit games.
He's 935 OPS for Christian Campbell in his rookie year. Hit 200 in spring training. Doesn't matter. Listen, the Talinator, you mentioned it, is leading off. And he's obviously a casualty. Well,
he is being demoted after this game.
He's a casualty.
Will be active for Friday, and Tim Tao will be back in AAA.
The casualty of Tim Tao, they want to get him. They're like, hey guys, like, do you guys mind if we just lead him off? And there's going to be a lefty coming in. I don't mind it. $3,400 leadoff hitter against a guy making his major league debut after Brazoban. So yeah, I don't hate it. Semion's too cheap. Jeff McNeil's too cheap. I don't care. I'm not playing Pablo Reyes. Red Sox great, even though he's in the lineup tonight. Yeah, Semien and McNeil are just too cheap.
Semion's definitely the guy, and Anthony mentioned him. I would definitely play Semien here at $2,800 for sure.
Yep, and Jackson Holiday's too cheap against Carrasco as well. He hasn't been great, but he can have a very high ceiling. It has a grand slam on the year, so all that good stuff.
Third base, you have Bregman up here. You have Devers, who's homered in 3 of 4 at the top as well. Caminero against Cameron if you're not going there at 42. Novi hitting 4th at $4,100. Who's not in the Reds' second lineup? Then Novi is hitting 4th. That's my question.
Gavin Lux. Gavin Lux is in the lineup. Yeah, no Hayes.
Yeah, Hayes dealing with a hammy. So they got Novi hitting 4th today. I like that at the $4,100.
Boy, that looks good because they got blanked. I wonder what what do we have for Reds ownership tonight? The recency bias on them getting like absolutely shellacked this morning or this afternoon rather.
They keep getting blanked because Matt McClain just keeps striking out. So you can't get any sort of inning going when the man's already just an automatic out.
If you guys haven't picked up on the trend here, John does roster Ellie De La Cruz in fantasy.
Absolute nightmare.
In a fantasy league.
2 FSGA and our league.
Okay. So yeah. So extra motivation to get Matt McClain out of the 2-hole here.
Move Ellie to the 2-hole. Get him more at bats. What are we doing?
You're so funny, bro.
The Pirates moved O'Neal Cruz to the leadoff spot, and he's been like their best player. Why isn't Ellie leading off game? Otani leads off. Why is Ellie not leading off games? Tell me.
Steven Matz against right-handed bats. Oh, no. You know what? I was looking at the wrong guy. Yeah, his numbers actually look really good against righties this year.
Steven Matz just lives forever. He just still in the league.
I'm getting wrong data here, John. Hold on. Yeah, the numbers. So, like, the numbers versus the expected numbers, I mean, 041 ISO, 192 expected ISO for right-handed batters this year. He has an 8% swinging strike rate and a 15% K rate against righties this year.
So you're suggesting that the Ruck's about to run out for...
Oh, no. Dude, that is 8% swinging strike rate, 15% against righties. You mentioned Steer, Marte. It's a really nice, cheap 4-5 stack.
Yeah.
And obviously, like the De La Cruz stuff, he's not as good on like this split. Like this is not the correct split for him. But didn't we look at this? He's been better against lefties this year, no?
Yeah, slightly.
312 expected ISO, 400 expected WOBA. Yeah. So the expected stuff looks really good.
Yeah, I think it's a super small sample size for him, though.
38 plate appearance. I mean, the versus lefties, they're all going to be smaller, but 38 is the most on the team.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they bring in lefties to flip him around. Like, he's the guy they bring a lefty in for. And then he had that one homer, which probably helped boost the ISO there. Let's see.
But yeah, that tier, Bregman, Devers, Caminero, Marte look elite. That's an elite tier of guys.
Yep, agreed. Espinal's hitting 6th. Durbin's 3,100. They're playing Oswaldo Peraza. They're not playing what's his
Oswaldo. They're playing Oswald. I've had to teach my son this because he keeps calling them both Oswaldo.
Yeah.
And never in a million years will there never ever be another team with Oswald and Oswaldo on the.
Yeah.
They're never
Well,
again.
they're playing Oswald Peraza and not
Yes.
Oswaldo Cabrera. So
Correct.
I would still play Peraza at 25.
Yeah. So another long list of players that are elite in minor league baseball and can't figure it out at the major league level, but
It happens.
it does.
Shortstop. Mentioned. Ellie's here at 6K. I said on the show though, like Gunnar Henderson would be my like click and play here.
Agreed.
Against Carrasco. Even if you're not stacking Orioles, and everybody is stacking Orioles, he's the highest roster shortstop today. I would easily just have him be the one-off too. I'm fine with that.
So if you're not, but you should. So if you're not, but do it. Yeah, I agree. And again, there's a lot of things pointing towards a positive regression for Gunnar, and he's basically at the end of spring training for himself right now. So
yep, agreed. So you have Gunnar 51. If you wanted to play Ellie Witt or Lindor, sure. Volpe's your second highest roster shortstop today. Because again, we're all just picking on Povich. He's hitting fifth. So you have that at $4,200. And then Josh Smith against Severino hitting second at 35.
Yeah, and Volpe's been great against lefties this year. So that's really the only split he's hit. But he has been good just in general lately. Yeah. Lot of extra base hits for Anthony Volpe.
Agreed. Anything else at short?
I think Trevor Story looks really good, especially with Eric Lauer being the long man or the expected long man.
Soft throwing lefty against Trevor Story.
Josh Smith, 3,500 shortstop outfielder, looks amazing. Don't look now. Mason Wynn, John. Back-to-back games. Top of the first game of the doubleheader, hit second. Had a pretty good game.
Did too hard.
Second game of the doubleheader, hitting second.
Well, we talked about this plenty this year that he should be better at the top of their lineup and not the bottom of their lineup. So
yes, so worth throwing a dart at against a guy making his major league debut. Super talented player.
Yep, agreed. Outfield. Obviously, Aaron Judge is here. Kyle Tucker is here. Corbin Carroll. There isn't a player that I wouldn't play once again above $5,000. I'd play every single one of them. Whatever your stack is, use it. Sedmo is the only one that doesn't make any sense from a price standpoint. But again, he's even getting ownership, 14%. Fourth highest rostered outfielder today. Everybody just apparently loves a $5,600 Cedric Mullins. You do you on that. I'd rather play a less rostered Seiya in his spot, or Wyatt Langford, less rostered at 5K in his spot. But elite outfielders and elite spots today.
I'm not going to add anything because basically Wood play everybody. Probably not James Wood, but I'll, tip the cap to elite baseball player James Wood and understand that it's baseball. So, could happen.
A lot of power on this guy's back.
Yes.
Big man. Mid-tier. Boston lefties worked yesterday. I know that Lauer's a lefty, but Willier, $4,800. You have Nootbaar, Springer. I really like Toronto today. Again, Lucas Giolito was not good at the minor league level during his rehab stint. Nobody's playing the Blue Jays today. I know the Blue Jays offense has largely not been good, but they do have a near 5 implied run total today. So, get your under 10% Blue Jay stack against Lucas Giolito today.
He's also just wasn't good last year before
he missed all of last year.
The year prior. So year prior was terrible.
Yeah, if he comes back like Sandy Alcantara, we're gonna bingo him all day today.
It's case to case, right? With how pitchers come back from Tommy John. You don't know how someone's gonna respond to basically tearing your Achilles if you're a basketball player or any it's just So I don't disagree. I think obviously the middle of their lineup in terms of Vladdy the top half, right, has like Bo Bichette hasn't hit a home run in like 8 years. Vladdy, all the expected stuff looks amazing. Like, who would ever trade that guy? George Springer's hitting over 300. Santander has like hit more home runs than any player in baseball over the last like 3 years. Like, yeah, I think the Blue Jays look pretty good against a pitcher making his debut was bad pre Tommy John. So
yeah,
agreed.
No, I agree with you 100% there. Anything else in this mid range for you?
Anything else in this mid range? I mean, Ian Happ looks great at 43. That's a really cheap price. Same thing with Pete Crow Armstrong, 45. O'Hearn, we talked about at first. He looks great. Victor Scott had a big game 1. He is turning up because he just is, if he gets on, he is absolutely stealing a base.
I think I said this either one of the shows with you or maybe it was with Keith the other day, but like, I'm a big Victor Scott guy. He is going to get going at some point, and then there's going to be power and speed here. The price up to 4K already, so like, we're not really going to get him at a discount like we had with some of these players where DraftKings just forgets about them. But put this dude on your watch list and pay attention, because if he has strings a couple of games together, it might be a full go time here with Victor Scott.
Yeah, he looks he's been good. So the power and the speed and the speed is obvious. The power is coming along too. So don't love the lineup position, but like, you could build a wraparound stack there.
Yeah. Him, Newbar win 9-1-2.
Yeah. Ooh. No. Spicy. And Brendan Donovan obviously hitting third, like elite positional eligibility too.
Yep. Varsho, highlight reel catch yesterday. Hits 5th against Giolito. Let's see. Grisham's hitting 2nd. It's lefty, right? Or is he a switch hitter? Lefty.
He's a lefty. It does not matter. Not matter. Povich has been bad against lefties, dude. Yeah. And also, Trent Grisham, the legend of Trent Grisham, has just 214 ISO against lefties this year. He actually had a 198 expected ISO last year against lefties too, which I actually remember being a case. Like, they played Trent Grisham again. 2023 174 ISO against lefties. Trent Grisham has like a pretty good sample against lefty bats or lefty pitchers. And again, Cade Povich, small sample, but 229 expected ISO allowed to lefties. It's a great ballpark to hit in. He's really cheap, hitting in an elite spot in front of Aaron Judge again. Like, I'm definitely okay going there.
Okay. Any other values today for you?
I mean, Chandler Simpson's leading off. I think that says all you need to know about Tampa Bay and their feelings on Chandler Simpson. If they're going to lead him off lefty, like, we should just kind of expect that moving forward, because they were hitting him near the bottom of the lineup against lefties earlier.
Yeah. I do like that yesterday we did the show. He was hitting 400. He goes 0 for 5, and now he's down to 340 because sample sizes.
Because sample size, yeah. And you know what? Love that Tampa just put him right back in there at the top of the lineup. Like, that's
sure. I mean, what else do you have, right? I mean,
agreed. Yandy, right? Yandy would probably be like the on base leadoff hitter, like the not the logical, but like this is a new leadoff hitter.
Yandy would be like a platoon player on like half the rosters in baseball, but he's a starter for the Rays. So
possible. Not out of the. You're not crazy to think that. Kerstad 34, hitting 8th, but it's fine. It's not terrible. Grishik hitting 3rd. We know Randall Grishik will get most of his at-bats here against a lefty. Even though the first one won't come against a lefty, he will.
Yeah, and then you mentioned Laureano. Give me the numbers.
Okay. The Laureano righty numbers this year, John, as I clicked the wrong tab again. Okay. Very small sample, obviously. He's not an everyday player, but 550 ISO, 487 WOBA. Those are crazy. 3 home runs. Numbers. All 3 home runs he's hit against a righty. 550 ISO, 487 WOBA. The expected stuff too, like 493 expected ISO. Okay, that's elite. 414 expected WOBA. Okay, that's also elite. So, like, small sample. It's Ramon Laureano. Maybe not. Speculative talk here. reckless speculation. Maybe he's on steroids again. You never know. Maybe Jorge Polanco's on steroids too. But like, I don't know. Those numbers are really good. He's hitting 50. He's really, really cheap. So,
No, I'm with you.
Really cheap. Like, really cheap.
Yeah. I mean, all the other guys down here, you have him or you have Gorski, homered off Anderson in his debut.
Gorski.
I'm kidding. Obviously.
Live podcast moment of the what the heck is a Gorski? What the heck is a Gorski?
First career at bat, home run.
Hasn't hit since.
Nope. All right, let's get a lineup built here. We like the mid range. Do we just eat the chalk, or do we go anti-chalk and go like Evaldi Boyd? What are we doing here?
Or are we playing a 4K pitcher and getting all the bats?
We can do that. I'm good with that. All right, so if we do Cameron. And
Sanchez, I mean, it won't matter. Sanchez, Boyd, Evaldi, it does not matter. Right. You pick your favorite.
I like Boyd here, so
okay.
And then we have $4,700, so
it's a lot of dollars.
If we just did a Ramon Laureano play,
we will have endless amounts of money to spend.
Kelly,
but you want to play Gunner, right?
Yeah,
like Gunner Ramon Laureano 2-stack.
Tucker, dude.
You can play Judge. You can probably play
$4,500. Yeah, play Judge.
Probably play Judge as a one-off.
I mean, $3,600, second and a third. Do we have a punt one other spot? We can probably
Holiday. You can play Holiday at second, or the Towinator. I mean, Holiday would correlate better.
4K third baseman.
That's easy.
Easy.
Yeah. Oh no, we're just off. Oh, I thought Marte is on.
All right. Well, then we go back down to Sanchez.
Okay. Easy enough. Easy.
All right. Damn it. Cameron, Sanchez, Kelly, Bush, Holiday, Marte, Henderson, Laureano, Tucker, and Judge.
Easiest game ever we played.
I mean, it's right.
We play the easiest game. Nobody even we're all the dollars tonight.
All right. Let's see. Our guy Don, how would you attack the last game tonight on DraftKings? For a showdown, he was going to captain the Rangers pitcher. We're doing showdown baseball.
Oof. Let's pull up the showdown.
You're going to captain Evaldi.
And then you're not going to be able to build anything else in your lineup.
Yeah. I mean, I think I don't play showdown baseball. I would imagine he would have the highest scoring ceiling.
Let's see. So if we did, I'm just pulling it up here, John.
Yeah.
If we did Nathan Evaldi at the captain, you have $6,400 remaining salary for your builds. Jake Berger is $5,000. Semion's $54,000. You would that's your 3-5. Who's your favorite athletic bat?
Oh,
because you have to play one athletic. You're obviously playing Langford, 88.
Yeah.
If you punted Jock Peterson, or who's $3,600 hitting fourth.
What's like Jonah Heim?
78.
Ugh.
Yeah, I was looking at Josh Smith, 66. So you're basically forced.
What's the cheapest A?
Luis Urias at 44. You would play 8,400. You play Heim in that spot. So your lineup would be like Evaldi, Berger, Semien, Langford, Heim, Urias. But the Heim correlation kind of stinks there. So if you play Smith,
yeah, but you're playing I would play Smith, yeah.
Then you play either the only athletic you could play is Urshela or Urias.
Okay. I mean, yeah.
With the 1, 2, 3, 5 Texas, which
I would
pretty good.
I wouldn't even care because I don't care if they get a 0.
You're playing Urias over Urshela based on
play Urias.
Urias has been better. Yeah. So Evaldi captain, Berger, Semien, Langford, Smith, Urias.
Yeah.
That would be your lineup.
Yeah, that's probably it.
That's your example lineup.
Yeah. All right, guys. We appreciate you all tuning in. Do we have a show tomorrow?
I don't think so.
I don't think we have a live show tomorrow with the way the baseball slate is. We will have a preview show for all of you guys, though, so make sure you tune into that. Get us in the Discord. We'll have the playbook out, everybody. Again, appreciate all the support.
So
we'll catch you later.
We have